way I've felt like you have been. And I just want you to tell everybody all about your journey to where you are, and your career is skyrocketing. And I'm loving this, Larry. I'm so happy for you.
I appreciate it. Couldn't have done it alone, and couldn't have done it without you, Jane. I don't know if you remember this, but the first time I met you was actually in Charlotte. It was the first NSA Carolinas annual meeting in Charlotte, where you sang and you performed and you enthralled. I said, wow, who is this amazing person? And I'm just a little peon. I felt like I was Urkel. Did I do that? And you were just so welcoming. You didn't know me from Adam. I don't even know if you remember, but I remember just how warm and just how welcoming you were. So thank you.
Listen, it's easy to be warm and welcoming to somebody who's hot and precious. And I don't mean that like, woo, he's hot, but just on fire to serve others and to hone your craft and to share it. And you've got that fire and that passion. And that's what it takes, because this is not an easy business. But let's start from the beginning. Tell me about you.
Okay. Grew up, moved around Alabama, Illinois, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, back to Maryland. When I moved to Pennsylvania, they said, "Little Larry, how old are you?" I said, "I'm 4." They said, "4 what?" I said, "I'm 4 years old." They said, you can't talk like that. They said, "Mr. and Mrs. Long, we got to put your son in speech classes so he can learn how to enunciate his words and speak proper." So I remember
my goodness.
The flashcards, I had to enunciate dog, cat. But we moved around a lot, which really taught me how to make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver while the other is gold. That was my mom's favorite song to sing to me.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. Girl Scouts.
I love it. And don't get me singing, Jane, because you got a voice. I'm tone deaf. I'll have people crying instead of laughing and smiling. They'll say, "Oh Lord, who let this guy sing?" But moved around. Ultimately, I played baseball at University of Maryland. Go Terps. My father ran track for the Terps. My sister ran track for the Terps. I was the black sheep of the family, literally and figuratively, playing baseball, but had a great career. Worked at Accenture doing IT consulting. Wasn't passionate, so I left there and opened an indoor baseball and softball academy, teaching youngsters fundamentals of the game, fundamentals of life. Ran out of cash, and I had to find a job. Only job I could find was making 150 cold calls to accounting firms, and I was able to do it with just a positive attitude. I'll never forget, this accountant in New Jersey said, "Hey Larry, I got something for you." I thought I was about to get a sign up, which was my goal. I was in for something. He said, "I want you to put on a pair of concrete shoes and jump off a bridge." I said, "Oh Lord." I looked for a manual. I said, "How do I come back? What do I say to that?" And unfortunately, it wasn't in the manual. So unfortunately, he knocked me out. So I just said the first thing that came to mind. I said, "God bless you too." And then I hung up. I was so scared to make that next call, but I learned the power of resilience, the power of surrounding yourself with great people, which has really contributed to the speaker world. You have been a blessing to me, and you've expanded your network to me, which has just multiplied the blessings. And it's my responsibility to make sure I continue to pass that along. So it's been a fun journey. It's been a wild ride. There's been adventures. My middle name is Misadventures, but I can tell you I'm having fun each and every step of the way.
Well, Larry, I'm amazed that all of these things, the cold calling, well, hello. I mean, that's a little bit more of a challenge these days because people are at home or they're retired. Any of the people that we've built our businesses with. But man, I mean, that's part of this mental game in the speaking profession, is just to keep yourself, not afraid of the phone. And let me tell you, there are a lot of people that don't like the phone anymore. They're so used to being behind the keyboard. It's easy.
They're allergic to it. And Jane, I've been so fortunate. I host a podcast called the Cold Calling Podcast.
So I did not know that. I need to listen to that.
Yeah, I interview folks every Wednesday at 1:00 Eastern. We're live and we talk about cold calling. We talk about sales, which my keynote is sales is not a 4-letter word. My mom said, Larry, sales isn't a 4-letter word. I said, come on, Mom. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But it'll make you say some 4-letter words. But sales is not a 4-letter word.